Okay, I'm still at it. It is 11:33. I'm going to continue the momentum. Today, I'm going to talk about that big question, who am I? All right? Who am I, Chris? Who am I, Sweets Rodriguez? But today, I'm going to help you find out that answer to that question, who am I? That's the reason why I do these videos, not only because of my brand, but also because of that, and because I'm starting to realize that everybody has these questions. They're just questions that we need help answering at this point in our lives. So the topic of discussion today is, who am I, and how to answer that question. Who am I? Right? Where am I? What was I doing? From my experience, people say generic things when you ask them a deep question like, who am I? Can you answer that question? They say generic things. And this is what I mean. They say their name. They say they're a kind person and what they do for a living. And that's it. It's not who you are. So I'm just going to tell you the answers from MBSI, the awareness brain. That's me. That's me. To be self-aware is to observe yourself having a thought or doing a behavior while knowing and understanding why you think or do it. To be self-aware is to observe yourself having a thought or doing a behavior while knowing and understanding why you think or do it. That definition of awareness. Observing while consciously understanding. And this is a little encrypted, the way I said it. So here comes the past. We think and do things because of the ways, the wheres, and the whens, and the who-withs we have been raised. We, you, I, made a decision to adopt thoughts, ideas, behaviors, slang, accents, just a little bit from everyone, everywhere. With that adoption, or should I say adaptions, right? We develop roots in principles and values. Over time, solidifying them into your persona, your character. It reminds me of a belief I adopted. We are all originally unoriginal and re-originators. And it just means our thoughts and ideas come from somewhere outside of us, even when they're coming from within. Go to my video titled, I'm gonna insert it. So over time, solidifying them into your persona. It's definition time. I love to define things because it's not labeling. People get this idea of that everything's about labels. No, it's about defining things because we all have our unique perception of this experience life. So when I'm coming from one place and you're coming from another, where we're coming from gets a little lost. So we need to define things so we're on the same page. Definitions are all written on pages so that everybody in the world knows this word means that. So, principles in awareness are defined as a rule or belief dictating one's personal behavior. Basically, it's how you view right or wrong. It's how you view right or wrong. Some people think that getting over on another person is completely fine because they're unaware and they're going to be unharmed by it. For example, a kleptomaniac believes it is perfectly okay to steal. They don't think of right or wrong. They only weigh the consequences that society has placed on the public. I want to steal this. Stupid laws against stealing everything. I just want to steal everything. I want to steal this. And it has a different punishment than if I steal that. So if if I steal this and get caught, then I'm gonna go to jail for this long. If I steal this and get caught, I'm gonna go to jail for this long. But I can deal with that. More example, I'm just gonna move on. More examples of principles include honesty, open communication, fairness, boundaries, self-imposed limitations, and marriage. Some principles are situational. All of these principles that I mentioned go into a category of right and wrong, and they all have, the situational ones have a certain decision that is made to never do a thing, and then yet some are okay to break every once in a while. That's not being a hypocrite. If you really think about it, that's being true to yourself. You know within your own mind, I can cross this boundary because it doesn't apply in this situation. That's you. That's your choice. Nobody can judge you but you. I haven't done this before, but I'm going to give you knowledge. Paper workouts. Yeah, paper workouts. This one I'm about to give you is called Personal Principle Paper Workout. And I'll say that 10 times fast. Personal Principle Paper Workout. I suggest starting with principles you already know you possess. Make a mental observation of where it comes from. Ask yourself, who am I most like that I believe also has this principle? And why is that true to me? Why is that principle true to me? Look up examples of principles. Choose them as you go while thinking, is it true to me? Who am I most like that I believe also has this principle? The purpose of this exercise, this personal principle paper workout, the purpose of it is to become self-aware of the reasons for which you believe in that idea, principle, or the purpose, the reason of the behavior associated with that principle. I get too much into that. I'm gonna let you think about it. Okay, this one. Values. Everyone has values, right? We feel so valued all the time. No. Most of us feel insecure and worthless. Yay. I'm so worthless. But in reality, that's not true. We are worthy and valuable beyond measure. If you know the answer to the big question, who am I? You would know you are more than enough to get through the times of low self-esteem, and more so in those times, you would give yourself the opportunity to prove that in fact you do have value, even if it's to yourself. I had just recently, for the first time in my life, I looked in the mirror and I just didn't like myself for no apparent reason. So I'm gonna tell you what I did. I did a paper workout. I found out the reason why I didn't like myself in that moment for that week. Since I figured out the reasons just by writing everything out, writing all my thoughts out, and then I decided to turn it into power. Instead of dwelling on it and just keep thinking I don't like myself, I turned it into power. I turned it into the reason why I do like myself. And that's the gist of what I did. And it's in the back of my mind and it's stuck into my train of thought. That's why I like myself again. Definition time. Value is relative worth or importance. That's depressing already. Something desirable. It's a little better. To consider or rate highly. To rate or scale in usefulness, importance, or general worth. Wow, I feel judged. I feel really judged. I feel like this definition is judging me. Like I'm useless, unimportant, and generally worth nothing. Okay, this is important. What I'm about to tell you. You gotta dig deep to find those things that fit these definitions. Relative worth, importance, something desirable to consider or rate highly, to rate or scale in usefulness, importance, or general worth. You have to find those things that define you and fit those descriptions, those definitions. I'm going to suggest a similar process to principal paper workout. I forget what it's called. So I have another assignment. This one's called I Am Valuable Values Workout. I Am Valuable Values Workout. I'll say that 10 times fast. Ask yourself, in what ways do I value myself? This should be an action or behavior. In what ways am I valuable to myself? This should be a belief or thought. You can switch them up. Now ask, who am I most like that also has this value? And why is that true to me? Then look up examples of self-values and ask these questions again. If you find that you're dwelling on negative self-value, look through the examples and find the ones that just pop out at you, the ones that choose you almost, and that best fit you. And then ask those questions. No matter how small or insignificant the emotional response is to that value word, still choose it and think of the reasons you possess that value. Do it for another and another until you have an arsenal of self-worth. So we're combating the doubt, the self-doubt. We're combating the worthlessness, those negative thoughts, unworthy, unuseful, unimportant. We need an arsenal of values, of self-values and self-worth and self-importance. We need an arsenal to fight back and to win, and you will win. I want you to know here, it is not enough to know these values. It's not enough to know that they are true. You have to live by them. You have to show yourself. You have to prove to yourself by taking those words and putting them into action. Thinking and behaving in ways to emulate those values you've chosen.